Hi, I'm Paige, and I am doing the book and makeup tag. I saw Jessie from The Bookish Mom do this, and I wanted to give it a go. I used to be obsessed with makeup a couple years ago. I had a huge makeup collection. I would try makeup looks every single day, just play around in my room, but then I just kind of got over it and I stored all my makeup, and I haven't really worn it for about a year. So I hope that this goes well. I might forget how to put on makeup a little bit, but I'm hoping it's like riding a bike. My AC is on, and that makes my ceiling rattle sometimes, so if you hear like a clicking sound, that's my ceiling. I live in a 50-year-old house, and it makes weird noises sometimes, so I don't want to turn off my AC because I will sweat to death trying to put on this makeup, because it might take me a while to get through this. So let's get started. Alright, the first step is to put on your primer and to talk about a book that has left a lasting impression. And I don't use primer. I have niacinamide, I think that's how you say it, niacinamide from The Ordinary. I put that on, then I go in with CeraVe moisturizing cream and eye cream and lip balm as my primer. I've never used primer. Well, I can't say never. I've tried primer. I felt like it did nothing, so I never used that. So I will go ahead and start putting that on, and I will talk about the book. So the book that has left a lasting impression, I was trying to think about that the other day, and I feel like only one book that I've read so far has stuck with me, and that would be Station 11 by Emily St. John Mendel. I hope that's how you say it. And that one, a lot of people are reading because of the pandemic going on, and that's basically the reason why I picked it up too. And I found myself really liking it. At first I thought it was really slow. I almost thought that it was too hard for me to read. I was struggling at the very beginning, but as I kept going, I just got more and more invested. There were a few things I didn't love about it, but there was one storyline towards the end that I just fell in love with, and it made me sob so hard. I don't want to give spoilers, but there's this older man at the end, and he is reflecting back on life and how he thinks of life as memories, and that part just cried. I had to go back and find the page a couple days ago because I could not get it out of my mind, and I ended up highlighting it and dog-earing that page just so I could go back to it, just because it stuck with me. So that would be my lasting impression one. I'm gonna finish up this, then we'll move on to the next one. Okay, now it stops rattling when I stop talking. Very rude, very rude. Alright, next step is to put on your foundation and to talk about your favorite first book in a series. I use Estee Lauder Double Wear, or I used to use it. I went for full coverage, and this was my favorite. It just looked the best, I thought. If I can open it. Ooh, that was too much. Alright, for a book that is first in a series, I don't really read a lot of series, and the ones that I'm planning to read are all like the Sarah J. Maas ones, and a couple Leigh Bardugo, and I'm considering Cassandra Clare books, but I've never started any of them. So I would say that the first book in a series that I really like so far that I've read this year would be Wolfsong in the Green Creek series by TJ Klune. I talked about this in my mid-year freakout tag, because it is probably my favorite book of the year. It just has so much in it. It is super sad. It is super happy. It's funny. It just has so much depth in it, and I absolutely love that story. I haven't finished the third book yet, and the fourth one's about to come out in a couple of months, but I just feel like that was such a good book. It could have been a standalone, but there were some things that weren't quite resolved that ties into the rest of the series, but it was just so good. I really, really recommend that one. I notice I say really, really a lot. I want to stop that. I don't know. It just comes right out of my mouth. I look like a ghost. I forgot how pale I am. Wow. I would usually go, whoa, my eyes are red. I would usually go more full coverage than this, but I don't feel like it. So the next step is to put on concealer and to pick a character that you wish did not exist. So I use the Maybelline Age Rewind in the brightening shade because I am that pale that the lightest shade was always too yellow for my skin. So I'm just going to put that on. And the characters I wish that did not exist. I couldn't really think of anybody But I'll go with Daphne from American Royals. I thought her character was so annoying. I hate when people write girls as just like petty, conniving, rude, just only in it for themselves. I know that there are some females like that in the world, but I just hate that stereotype. It's so frustrating to read about a girl who's just trying to like sabotage another girl. I don't like that. And I also didn't really like, I hope I get her name right, Agatha from Carry On. I thought her storyline was so boring. Every time I had to read in her point of view, I was over it. So I would say those. I was not a fan of either of those characters. Alright, next up is to put on powder and to talk about your favorite last book in a series. I use a powder that I'm not going to recommend just because I don't fully support the person, but that's all I had, so I'm going to use that. And also talk about a book that I am not going to name by names because She Who Must Not Be Named wrote them, but it would be the 7th book in that one series with like wizards and stuff. It's very fitting that the powder I'm using is somebody I don't really care to talk about, and the book is that one. But I feel like there's not a book I've read that has wrapped things up so well, that has made me so emotional, that just like hurt in the best way possible. That was a really good ending, and hopefully some of the series that I plan to read soon will have endings like that, so that I can change this answer and not have to skirt around the subject. Next up is to put on bronzer and contour. I'm not going to contour my face. I just use bronzer all the time. If I wanted to like go out, I would use contour, but I'm just gonna do bronzer, which is the Too Faced bronzer, which I don't really recommend them either, but it's what I have. And I'm supposed to talk about a perfect summer read, and for contour, what book surprised you with how much depth it had in it. So I don't know about a perfect summer read, but I would say that I really liked the graphic novel Bloom, and it's set like on a beach, so that's very summery. I could not tell you who that was by, but it's really pretty. I feel like the storyline was a little blah, but it was pretty to look at, and it was cute enough that I guess that would be a good summer read if you're just looking for something light and fluffy. And then a book that surprised me with the amount of depth, I would say that one is We Are the Ants. I just finished that a couple days ago, and it was so emotional. All I knew going in was like this boy gets abducted, and that's all I knew. And it was super deep. Lots of trigger warnings. That is one for sure that you have to look up triggers for, but it was good. Very sad, heartbreaking, and I did not expect that. I expected some kind of sci-fi, some boy being abducted and no one believing him, but it was more than that. Okay, not as pale. That's awesome. Next is to put on your eyebrows and pick a book you think everyone should read. I use the Benefit Goof Proof Brow. It's like super thick, and it's just what I used. I had never really found a brow product that I absolutely loved, and this is probably so dry it's gonna like crumble in my hands. But a book I think everyone should read, I would say The Hate You Give. I don't know if I've ever read a book that has such good characters and character relationships. I then read On the Come Up a couple days ago, and I really think that Angie Thomas has some of the best characters and character relationships I have ever read. I sobbed so much through both of them just because of how much she writes her characters to care for each other, and how much love and respect she writes, and how real her characters are. Ooh, I don't even know what I just did. Are those eyebrows? They're good enough. So the next step is to put on eyeshadow and to pick a book with your favorite colors on the cover. And I'm gonna go with A Curse So Dark and Lonely because it's blue. I love blue. I don't do blue eyeshadow though. That is not a thing that I do. Blue eyeshadow, that is not a thing that I do. But I love blue, and that one has such pretty deep blue colors. I'm putting on a eyeshadow primer first because that's what I do. I don't know if this is a great one. I just use the Urban Decay one, the like original, but it's always helped. I get greasy eyelids, so I've always needed a primer. And I will quickly do my, I guess not quickly for me, but quickly for you, do my eyeshadow and come back. Oh yeah, I use the Lorac Pro palette because I like the colors and I like how they feel. Ooh, I just poked myself in the eye. And over top of that, I'm going to go with the Stila something or other liquid eyeshadow-ish thing in Kitten. The next step is to put on eyeliner and to talk about a book that is dark and mysterious. And I don't really do eyeliner, so I'm just gonna like put some brown on my lash line, I guess. I don't really like liner. It's too stressful, and it's been like a year since I've done my makeup, so a year out of eyeliner practice does not bode well. Okay. And a dark and mysterious book. I don't read a lot of those, at least not yet, but the most dark and mysterious I've read this year would be Gone Girl. So that's gonna have to be my answer. Then I need to put on mascara and pick a long book. Excuse me while I spend 15 minutes trying to curl these lashes that just stick straight down. Alright, for mascara, I used to use the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes. I love this so much. This is probably so dry and might not do anything, but it's what I use. And for a long book, the other day I was looking on Scribd just for out of curiosity purposes to see how long Les Mis is, just because that book is so big. And someday I might read it. It's like not really on my TBR because it's so long and intimidating, but I looked it up anyway. And it was a 62-hour long audiobook, and like, no thank you. This is so old. Ugh. Okay, mascara on. Next up is to put on blush and to talk about a book with a cringe-worthy romance. And I always use the Tarte Amazonian Clay blush. I think that's what it's called, in Exposed. My favorite. It goes with everything. So a book with, oh my god, there's nothing coming out of this. A book with a cringe-worthy romance. For me, instantly comes to mind The Bride Test. I liked the book, kind of. I thought that Esme's character was a little annoying. I'm not a fan of when people like walk into somebody's life and just start changing things up or doing things without discussing it and just assuming that they can do whatever they want. And she comes into his life and just starts changing everything and not really talking to him about things. And she also, in the book, is supposed to be super smart. But when she finds out that he's autistic, she doesn't go and look this up, even though she's like super smart and is taking her GED classes in like the course of a summer and manages to like pass them all because she's researching and studying all the time, yet she doesn't go and look up this one thing about him to understand more. It just kind of annoyed me. So I would go with that couple. I just wasn't a fan of them. I thought I really liked his character and I really liked her character separately, but when they came together, I felt awkward. It wasn't my favorite. So that's the one that comes to mind. It wasn't the most cringeworthy ever, but for me, I cringed a little bit. Next up is highlighter, and to pick a book that brightens your day. And I use the Becca highlighter in Pearl because I am so pale that I have to use something stark white. So the book that brightens my day is going to be House in the Cerulean Sea. I have talked about this already, but I love that book so much. It is so cute. I think about it and just like tear up a little bit on how cute those kids were and how much I adored that story. It was just so happy, so fun, such a good time. So that is the one that brightens my day. I'm still sweating and my AC is full blast. The last step is to put on lipstick and to talk about your favorite book kiss. I have to take off my lip balm or else it won't stick. I don't really like lipstick. I usually just go with the Jack Black, is that what it's called? Yeah, Jack Black lip balm in the natural mint taste, scent, taste, flavor. I don't know. This one, it's really good. It's what I wear all the time. But for the sake of this, I will put on lipstick and then wipe it immediately off. And when I do wear lipstick though, I go in with NARS something or other Audacious lipstick in Barbara because that's my grandma's name and I thought that was so cute. And it's a really good color. So for a favorite book kiss, the one that I instantly thought of was between Katniss and Peeta in Catching Fire. I love Catching Fire probably more than I love Hunger Games, and the beach kiss. I swear I swooned. I love that one so much. I think that kiss got me so much because it was like the first one that Katniss actually meant, and I read the books mostly because I was a teenage girl wanting to read the love story, and I've read those books like 4 or 5 times already, and I feel like every time I still just love their love story. Some people think that it's not necessary, but I loved it. I love Peeta. Peeta is my favorite male character ever, and that kiss just made my heart just stop. So that is the book and makeup tag. I hope I was coherent in any of that. That was really stressful to try and manage both of those and try and remember how I used to put on my makeup. I feel like I look like a totally different human. I don't know how I feel. It feels so heavy. I'm so used to not having makeup on anymore. I miss makeup, but I gave it up mostly because I'm a teacher and not a morning person, so like that 45-minute extra time to sleep was so well worth it to me. But I do miss playing around with it, so if you want to see any more makeup videos from me, let me know. That would be fun to do. Maybe there's more book and makeup tags. That would be awesome. But hopefully I already linked Jessie's video, so you can watch that, and I will link it down below as well if you want to check her out. If you're not already subscribed to her and you're subscribed to me, that's very strange because she's amazing. She is so kind, and you should be subscribed to her. So thank you, Jessie, for doing this. I know you didn't tag me, but you inspired me to do this. If you agree with any of these answers, let me know in the comments below, and like and subscribe if you want to see more from me. I'm hoping to do more tags because they're actually really fun and way less intimidating than just talking about books on their own. So, I'll see you later. My lips look so bad. You can't even... It just looks like I have red everywhere. Whew.